Hi, my name's Scott, and I'd really like to share my story. It's a story about a very, very difficult time that I went through, a really long wilderness, a horrible season for me, but I'm happy to be here and happy to talk and share my story about it. I grew up a very happy kid, very caring and very thoughtful, and God blessed me with a personality or an ability to make people feel really, really comfortable with themselves. That said, I also have battled depression, but it was always manageable depression. Over time, I lost that sense of purpose. I had no idea why I was here anymore. And all I wanted to do was find peace again. And the only way I felt like I was going to be able to find peace was to no longer be here. As I was getting closer and closer to the thought of attempting to take my life, I kind of talked myself into the thought that people are going to end up being better off without me. And I know that was the devil at work, making me feel that way and making me believe that. It was a September morning, and I decided that I didn't want my dog with me when I did it. And so I decided to board him just for the day. And each time you go to board a pet, they always ask you or confirm who the emergency contact is. And I gave them my brother-in-law's name and contact information. He's my best friend. When it came time to pick the dog up, they weren't able to reach me, and so they reached out to Ron, and he and my sister tried calling probably quite a few times. And I didn't answer, so they called and had a welfare check. Next thing I remember is being in the hospital, and I remember my son, and he was upset, as you would imagine. That memory is what's driven me to want and to need to change my life around. After I was released from the hospital, what helped me was getting back to church and journaling and practicing mindfulness. And I would hear something when I'm listening to a podcast, and then I'd hear something in a song that was the same message, or I'd read something that was the same message, and then go to church on Sunday, and somehow, some way, that same message was part of the sermon or the message that day. But I know that's God reaching out to me and helping me realize that message is really, really important. As I was starting to figure this all out and feel better, I decided to run up to Joey B's for lunch. Walked in, and there was an empty place at the bar, sat in that stool, and there was an older gentleman sitting next to me, and we chatted for 15 or 20 minutes. Out of nowhere, he turned to me and he looked me in the eyes, and he said, "When I get home, I'm gonna kill myself." And I knew why I was there, because I could help him. During this time, his phone's going crazy with texts and phone calls, and he's just ignoring all of them. So it was really obvious that people were trying to find him. They knew he was, not in great shape. And so I told him about my experience, and I told him, I do know what doing that will do to all these people who are trying to reach out to you, all of your family and your loved ones. And I saw firsthand what it did to my son and my family and my loved ones. And eventually his son-in-law walked in, found him, and I don't know what happened afterwards, but I really hope and I believe that he's still with us today, and I hope that I had something to do to help with that. It's just miraculous to me that I'd walk into one restaurant, sit at one seat right next to a guy that I don't know, And it's just crazy that he opened up to me with his plans, and I know I was there for a reason. It's just another way for me to know that God saved my life that day so that I can help others. And it couldn't have been more obvious that day. I cried a lot telling my story. They're really tears of joy. I am so thankful I'm here. I don't want people to worry about me. I'm doing great. I'm much better off for having gone through this horrible experience. I learned that everybody goes through bad seasons, but they happen for a reason. And that's when God's closest to you, and that there's a reason for them, and that you are going to get through them with His help. It's just a matter of trudging your way through them, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel.